Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lit Up Lightworker podcast, bringing you fun and soulful interviews with spiritual teachers with the aim of tuning you in and lighting you up. You can access all episodes of the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos and interviews all about finding and following your life purpose. My name is George Lizos. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive, the author of Be the Guru and the #1 best-selling Lightworkers Gotta Work. And today I have with me Talia Pollock. Talia Pollock is a writer, speaker, author, storyteller, plant-based chef, TV personality, and health and empowerment coach. She's the host of the popular Party in My Plants podcast and the proud founder of Party in My Plants, an internationally celebrated wellness platform that helps real, busy, everyday people acquire an abundance of energy to boldly take on the world in any way they wish. Talia's simple recipes and spunky lifestyle advice have been featured repeatedly on the Dr. Oz show, the Huffington Post, mindbodygreen, Buzzfeed, Bustle, Success Magazine, and more. Her first book, Party in Your Plants, 100+ plant-based recipes and problem-solving strategies to help you eat healthier without hating your life, will hit kitchen counters and nightstands on April 21st. Talia, welcome to the Lit Up Lightworker podcast.
Woo! So excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast because I do not like cooking and I want to learn how to love it.
Amazing. That's awesome.
And you're the person for that. You provide simple, problem-solving solutions and recipes to help people like me start cooking. So I wanna, before we get into the meaty stuff, I wanna start with your own journey of how you discovered healthy eating and how you got into this.
Yeah, for sure. And as you say, you don't like cooking. I don't love cooking either. And as you'll hear through the story, I cook for a specific reason, and that's what it's about. So I'm really excited to be talking to you. If you say you don't like cooking, yes, we're together. So my story starts with an 8-year struggle of my health. And I had digestive distress that was just, no one could pinpoint what it was, no matter how many poop tests, blood tests, breath tests, every test I could take, no one could give me really any answers. I saw acupuncturists, naturopathics, nutritionists, gastroenterologists, anyone under the sun. And the most I could get was, you have IBS, which really just means we ruled out everything else and your tummy hurts. Tough shit. Deal with it for life. And it was pretty much a life sentence. And I fortunately was, along my journey, an aspiring comedian. So I had my health struggles over here that were really hindering my confidence, my positivity, my energy, my productivity. I mean, my digestive issues led to immune issues, which then led to all sorts of weird ailments and just such a mess. But on the other side, I was an aspiring comedian, and I just loved the idea of using words and my mouth and my body and everything to make people laugh, to give them that release and that connection. So I was in Los Angeles working for Adam Sandler's production company, learning, comedy and all that, when I discovered a coconut smoothie. And I was hungry one day and someone said, go in there, get a coconut smoothie. I say, fine. I walk into this restaurant and I order the coconut smoothie, and they hand me this white, frothy, creamy smoothie. And I look at it and I say, oh, I can't do dairy. I'm sorry, it's just my stomach. And they say, sweetie, this is vegan. Now, this was in 2008. I had no idea what vegan meant, but I didn't want to cause a scene. I took the smoothie, I drank it, and for the first time in over 8 years, I consumed something that didn't make me feel sick.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, wait, what's this vegan thing? What's happening here? So I proceeded. This was before Instagram. This was before blogs. This was early dinosaur days. Yeah. So I would go to bookstores and sit on the floor with a yellow legal pad and just transcribe every bit of information I could come across about veganism and eating plants and all these recipes and all this stuff. And I learned how to cook for like survival, because I noticed how great this living plant food made me feel. So then I go back into my real life. I finish up in LA. I go back to school, and I'm still in college. And so now I'm this girl who makes her own green juice in her dorm, dehydrates her own kale chips, blends her own almond milk, because you couldn't buy this stuff at the time. The only way to get coconut water was to purchase a coconut, crack it open, which was what I was doing in my college dorm. So I felt like a total misfit, a total outcast. I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed. I was so insecure. And I couldn't figure out how to also be a member of normal society while caring for my health. So I decided I would choose my health. And I became what I call a health nut hermit. And I graduated healthier than ever, but more unhappy than ever, because I just really felt like I had to choose. So I graduated and started performing stand-up and pursuing comedy, but I had this passion for wellness because it saved me, it changed me. So I kept double dipping in the waters here. The comedy world doesn't necessarily overlap with the wellness world. They're kind of polar opposites. And then one day, thank goodness, I had the idea to combine the two, to figure out how to combine health and humor, and also be able to be healthy and happy and like a normal member of society. And that's what I've done with Party in My Plants, and as with me as a human being.
Oh my goodness, what a fun story. Like I can tell from my own experience while I worked in London, like a proper corporate job and trying to run my business part-time. And I was so stressed out, and I was also suffering from IBS. So it was out of this need that I had to like turn vegetarian and start making my own smoothies at home. At least I can make smoothies.
That's all you need. That's it. I mean, yeah, smoothies plus, but yeah, so you totally understand. It's and I feel that those of us with these health issues are honestly, for the most part, blessed,
Yeah.
because we have an immediate reason to take care of ourselves. There are so many people that don't necessarily tune into how food makes them feel, or don't have a body that yells at them through their digestion or their heartburn or their skin or whatever. And I do look at myself as fortunate for having a body that tells me when I'm treating it well and when I'm not.
And the fact that you are a comedian as well, and you have the ability to communicate wellness and healthy eating in such a fun way that makes it approachable to people, I feel it's amazing. So, but what are, in your experience, when you're dealing with let's say serious, rigid people who want to get healthy, but they don't really know how to do it? What do you think are the struggles or the obstacles people face that prevent them from implementing more healthy food in their diet?
I think a few things. I think first, they think it's all or nothing.
Okay.
It is not an all or nothing thing. It's what I always say, it's your most of the time that matters most. Like, our bodies can handle some Cheetos. They can handle some beer. Like, it's fine. It's the most of what we put into our bodies that matters most, which is why my philosophy is simply just eat more plants than you do crap. That's it. Crap being chemical, refined, artificial, processed food. If you can prioritize getting more plant foods, fruits and vegetables in your body in a given day, in a given year, in a given week, in a given meal, than you do crap food, that's all, in my opinion, there is to worry about, or not even worry about, prioritize. So that's the first thing, is this all or nothing mentality. I'd also say that a lot of people don't lead with their reasoning first, their why. Like for me, and it sounds like for you, we had a health issue that led us to prioritize what we put into our body. There are a lot of people that haven't yet made the connection between what they put into their mouth and how they feel. But food makes us feel stuff. Like, it's not an arbitrary thing that we feel something and we put things willy-nilly in our mouth. There is a direct connection between what we eat and how we feel. And so when people start to make that connection, first accept it as fact because it is a fact, then notice how different foods make you feel. Using that as a reason why to prioritize eating healthier is what's going to make it easy and not require you to rely on willpower or discipline, because you want to feel your best. And now you're going to put things in your body that make you feel that way.
So first of all, getting in touch with our body, basically in tune, and just listening to all the messages that are coming up. And at the same time, just being a little bit kinder with ourselves. I mean, like, coming from my own perspective, I'm so perfectionistic with everything. I'm like an all or nothing kind of person. And 7 years ago, when I decided to go vegetarian, I'm like, okay, cutting everything, cutting all meat. And only these past 2 years was I able to like start listening to my body in a more deeper level and realize that sometimes I wanted to have meat and I had to honor that aspect of me. And it was a matter of learning to accept that about myself, especially with all the judgment going around right now regarding like people who eat meat, like vegan, like even against vegans, like vegetarians, so much going on right now. And it was just this self-loving approach of like tuning into my body and saying, okay, what do I really need right now? I think that judgment is like blocking people to such a great degree. Don't you agree?
100%. I mean, for me, after I discovered the plants, I was vegan for 4 years. And I was that annoying vegan that would be like at a restaurant, like a bar, like, hey, I'm Talia, I'm a vegan, nice to meet you. You know, and then I started lifting weights. And I started noticing when my husband would eat eggs and fish, I wanted them. And I was like, oh no, I'm Talia, I'm a vegan. Like, I don't do that. That was my identity. So for over 6 months, I fought myself. My body was yearning, was like literally craving that food. And I was like, psh, until finally I had some egg whites. Whoa. And I felt fine. I felt good. And the world didn't end. And I gave myself that self-loving permission to put the things in my body that felt good. And now I would say I'm a pescatarian or whatever, but again, it's about just prioritizing more plants than anything. And the other stuff, you know, you can figure out what feels right for you and what's easy for you.
Such an easy
but it
rule
is about
of
self-love. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's an easy like rule of thumb to have. Listen to your body and then add more plants to your diet, and then you're on the healthy path. Now, so we know the problem right now, which is the all or nothing approach, as well as not listening to our own body. Now, what are some easy step-by-step strategies that we can use to start making more healthy choices into our daily routine?
Yeah. So I think we don't need to reinvent the wheel all the time.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, kind of like with this all or nothing mentality, we're like, all right, I'm eating healthy. I'm going to make a healthy dinner every night. No, I mean, I don't enjoy doing that. Like, I don't want to make a 3-course fancy healthy meal every night. You know, so I'm a huge believer in having like a few meals that you know, that you nail, and then you make them every week. Like I talk about in my book that, you know, all those important leaders like Steve Jobs and Simon Cowell or whatever from whatever show he's on, and Obama did this. They wore like all black or like a uniform every day. And that was to alleviate decision fatigue. And just, you know, they didn't worry about what they were wearing, what they were matching, what they looked like. They just, that's not what they wanted to waste their energy on. And I think the same can go for food. For those of us who don't find food a meditative experience, you know, there's a lot of people who are like, food's my meditation, cooking is just my happy place. I'm like, I'm not one of those people. I cook to eat food that makes me feel good, and then I want to get out. That's it. So I have some recipe, like my core, like 7 recipes that I just make on rotation, and maybe spruce up with different ingredients. Like tacos is an amazing thing to just spruce up. You can vary the beans. You can vary the green that you put into it. You can vary the protein. Like, but knowing that you can have tacos like twice a week or whatever, you can still make changes so you're not bored. So I think that variety is not totally necessary, especially when you're, because like most of us eat the same breakfast every day.
I
Like
do.
I've eaten the same breakfast every day for like 4 years.
Oh my God, me too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a
So
creature of habit. I'm all about just eating the same things every single day and week. Like, I don't like variety either when it comes to food. I eat to live and be
perfect.
productive and feel good.
Yes,
And I feel
exactly. So
guilty
that,
about it. That's the thing. Like, seeing
why?
because seeing all these people on Instagram that's posting all these beautiful pictures of
God,
different
Instagram.
food, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm not very interesting when it comes to food.
That's totally fine.
I know.
Please give yourself that self-love, that permission to just eat what makes you feel good. It doesn't matter if it's Instagrammable or not. And it's funny because I'm on Instagram and I have that issue myself, which is like, I eat like the same thing all the time. And I'm like, do I just keep posting photos of my protein waffles? Is that it? Is this just an Instagram feed of waffles? Because apparently that's all I eat. But whatever, I just own it. So taking that pressure off and varying the produce as much as you can within like the recipes that you're comfortable with is helpful. As well as I'm a huge fan of leftovers. Making, when you make any, make many is
Uh-huh.
something that I talk about. If you're getting your butt in the kitchen, like that means you're prioritizing it, you're not doing other things that might be more fun, might as well make 3 times, 4 times the amount you need. Like why not? If you're making quinoa, make 4 cups of quinoa so then you can keep eating it throughout the week. So anytime I get into the kitchen, I make so much more than I need so that tomorrow I have lunch like this or I have dinner like this. And you can just keep repurposing leftovers. You can put a variety of leftover things in a wrap. I do that all the time and just throw a bunch of things and then have lunch. Or you can put them on a sweet potato or over a bed of quinoa or into a salad. So getting funky with leftovers can be really helpful in just making cooking much less annoying.
Okay, question. When I was at university, I used to do the same thing. When I had to cook, basically, I used to cook like 10 different like portions of a meal and then freeze them
Yeah.
and then unfreeze them whenever I had to eat. Is that healthy though?
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
Frozen foods are amazing. I mean, first of all, in general, buying frozen produce can really, really save you time and energy.
yes.
It's low cost. It doesn't go bad, clearly, because it's frozen. And usually that frozen produce is actually frozen at peak ripeness. So it's very nutritious and you
Mm.
just take what you need. I mean, I live off of frozen foods all the time. I mean, my freezer's stocked with like I just go to the store and buy every bag of frozen whatever I can find because it's so easy
It's so
and
easy,
really
indeed.
cost efficient. Yeah.
So speaking of like time management, what are some tools and practices that we can use to save time cooking? Because for many people, it is the time constraint. Like for me personally, like because cooking is not my meditative experience, so I'm constantly like, okay, I just need my stomach to shut up so I can work
Yeah.
and focus on
I'm with you.
what I'm interested in. So what can we
Mm-hmm.
do to save time with cooking? Well, freezing is one option, like saving, like cooking several portions per meal is another
Mm-hmm.
option. Are there any other processes you have to suggest?
So I'm a big fan of gadgets. I
Ah,
mean, if it's budget friendly, having a high-speed blender like it sounds like you do, really quick and
yeah.
easy way to whip up soups and smoothies. And one thing that I had to learn is that a smoothie isn't just for breakfast. Like it's usually considered a sweet thing, but we don't have to adhere to these rules. We can have a smoothie for dinner if we want. If what works for your schedule and for your life. If that's gonna be, if it's smoothie or McDonald's, I'm gonna tell you to get a smoothie. Make a smoothie. So gadgets can be really helpful as well. So some blenders. I'm a big fan of food processors. If chopping is not something you're into, which it is not for me, a food processor does the chopping for you. They make mini ones that are not that expensive and you can make all sorts of things in them like sauces, pestos, guac. You can make banana ice cream. You can make a whole slew, a million things. So that's a really helpful gadget. And right now another popular gadget is air fryers. And I didn't want an air fryer for a while. I was like, ugh, I don't need another gadget. But I'm telling you, it takes like a sweet potato or cauliflower or broccoli from a head of broccoli to an edible thing in like 15 minutes.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's so effort free. Like you just cut it up, spritz it with like some oil, season it, put it in, and then like you're good. It has changed. I mean, it was before I wrote my book. I didn't have an air fryer. So unfortunately I didn't put any recipes in the book, but it is like a godsend. It's a wonderful thing. So don't be afraid to rely on gadgets if they work for your budget. They really can take time off your
I
hands.
think that's my problem. I don't have any gadgets other than a blender. I think it would make my life so much easier if I had something like an air fryer just to put like some veggies inside and sprinkle them with my favorite herbs and just have my dinner. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah.
liberated
Yeah.
right now listening to this. I hope everybody
Good.
like listening is like so like lit up as I am right now, because I'm like, oh my God, I can cook. I don't need to feel guilty that I don't cook a lot. Like there are easy ways I can try. So, and that's all in your book, Party in Your Plants, like my plants.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about what the book is about, what your purpose was with the book, and what people can expect out of it?
Thank you for asking. Here's my book. I'm obsessed. I'm very, very proud of this.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I look at this as like my thesis for everything that I've achieved as a person and with my business. You know, it's everything that I know about wellness is in this book. And it's basically, instead of dividing it by breakfast, lunch, dinner, it is divided by situations. Because if you can't tell, I'm very passionate about making healthy eating fit into your life rather than encouraging people to rearrange their life over their healthy eating. I believe the exact same thing as you do, that we eat to feel good, to have energy, to go do the things that we love in life, not hinder our life to eat healthy. So the book is divided by all these different life situations, like going to a football tailgate, going to a potluck, having a date over for dinner, family brunches, quick dinners, movie nights. I mean, there's a million. When you had a bad day, I just opened to that page. I mean, it's like when you want to upgrade your delivery, it's just tons of real life situations and very easy, comfort foodie, planty recipes and ideas to fit into those situations.
Oh, it's like a book of life hacks for millennials. I love this so much.
Yes.
And everybody can go on and order Party in Your Plants on Amazon. It's available right now. Talia, thank you so much for coming on to the show and sharing all these amazing tools and processes with us. Where can people get in touch with you?
Party in My Plants is where I'm at. So on Instagram, YouTube, I have a podcast, Party in My Plants, my website, and then the book is Party in Your Plants. So it's not about me, it's about you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day.